Hello, welcome to OJ Studios. Please enjoy this week's chapter of Punishment 2, Return of Amanda, by Olivia Julius. Brittany and I decided not to tell Mom about what Rhea had said. Instead we just made small talk in the mall's food court till Mom was down eating, and then we made our way back to Mom's car. As Brittany and I settled into the car, the atmosphere felt considerably lighter compared to the tension-filled encounter with Rhea at the mall. I couldn't shake the thought of Rhea's threat, but for the moment, we were focused on our upcoming Easter activities. The drive back to Aunt Georgia's house was a mixture of conversation about the dresses we had picked out and the excitement building around the Easter Princess contest. Brittany's enthusiasm was infectious, and her anticipation for the event was clear. Upon arriving, we carried the dresses and accessories inside. I couldn't help but feel a sense of dread as I looked at them, knowing that I would have to wear one of those dresses in public soon. I sat down on the bed and sighed. Today was a lot, and it was only noon. I only looked up when there was a knock at the door. I looked up and saw Rebecca at the doorway smiling at us. "Hey you two!" "Hey, Rebecca," Brittany greeted her with a smile. I managed a small nod in greeting, still feeling the weight of the day's events. Rebecca stepped into the room and glanced at the dresses we had brought back from the mall. "Looks like you've been busy shopping. Preparing for the big day?" Brittany eagerly shared her excitement about the Easter Princess contest, talking about how she hoped to win this year. I chimed in, "Yes, it's going to be quite an event." I kept my response vague, not wanting to reveal too much about the complicated situation with Rhea. Rebecca seemed to sense that something was amiss, but she didn't press further. Instead, she changed the topic to other plans for the day and tried to bring a more cheerful atmosphere into the room. "So, our outdoor pool is ready to be used, and I don't know if you all want to, but you all can. We can go swimming in it?" I asked. Almost all of Rhea's threats were out of my head. "Of course!" Rebecca said. "This is great!" Brittany said, getting up from where she was sitting on the bed. She hurried over to mine and her suitcase and unzipped them, looking for our swimsuits. "When you're ready, just meet us downstairs," Rebecca said before closing the door. Brittany grabbed the two swimsuits from both of our bags and held the white floral one that Gracie lent me to me. I took it and walked to the bathroom to put it on. I slipped into the white floral swimsuit, the fabric hugging my body snugly. As I looked at myself in the mirror, I couldn't help but feel self-conscious. The swimsuit revealed more of my body than I was comfortable with. Why do girls have to wear such weird stuff for? Taking a deep breath, I reminded myself that I needed to act like a girl, that I put myself into this position and I might as well have fun. When I rejoined Brittany in our room, she was already wearing a purple one-piece swimsuit and bouncing with excitement. She noticed my hesitation but didn't comment on it. Instead, she handed me a pair of sunglasses and said, "You're going to look fabulous out there." With a faint smile, I accepted the sunglasses and followed Brittany downstairs to meet Rebecca by the pool. The sun was still high in the sky, and the water glistened under its warm rays. Outside, Dad was getting out Aunt Georgia's barbecue grill with Ethan helping. He was already in his swim trunks, and I couldn't help but feel a bit jealous. Mom stopped me before I got to the pool's edge and started to put my hair up in a ponytail. I wanted to stop her, but she reminded me that this would keep my hair out of my face, so I let her continue. As I approached the edge of the pool, I took another moment to gather my courage. Then, with a determined step forward, I dived in. The cool water embraced me, and for a moment, I forgot about my apprehensions. It felt good to be weightless, to float and move in the water without the constraints of my worries. Brittany, always full of energy, swam over to me, her enthusiasm contagious. She cheered me on and encouraged me to join her in some water games. With her support, I found myself slowly letting go of my insecurities and embracing the joy of the moment. We played, splashed, and laughed in the pool, and I began to feel more like myself, less burdened by the expectations and doubts. The sun warmed our skin, and the water cooled our bodies, creating a perfect balance of comfort and exhilaration. The sun was shining, and I could hear the sizzle of the barbecue from the backyard. We were told to get ready to eat by Aunt Georgia, and I got out of the pool and wrapped a towel around me. With a little reminder from Brittany, I put the towel over my chest. As I stepped onto the back deck, I was greeted by the joyful chatter of my aunts, uncles, and cousins. The smell of burgers and hot dogs grilling on the barbecue made my stomach rumble with anticipation. I couldn't wait to dig into those juicy burgers, smothered in ketchup and mustard, and maybe even have a hot dog or two. Brittany and I joined Rebecca and Ethan. We all decided it was time to grab some food. We headed over to the picnic tables, where the barbecue feast was laid out. The tables were covered in checkered tablecloths, and there were plates piled high with all our favorite barbecue dishes. I grabbed the hamburger and loaded it with ketchup, mustard, and some crispy lettuce. The first bite was heavenly, the juicy patty and the slightly charred flavor from the grill were perfect. I savored every mouthful as I sat with my family at the picnic table. There was potato salad, coleslaw, and corn on the cob too, and I couldn't resist trying a bit of everything. As we ate, I listened to the stories and laughter of my family members, my Aunt Georgia and my mother reminiscing about their own childhoods growing up in the small town that's about an hour from here, and my cousins and I making plans for the rest of the day. The warmth of the sun on my skin and the taste of the delicious food made me feel so happy. After finishing our meal, we headed back to the pool, but instead of getting in, Brittany and I just sat poolside, and just enjoyed the warmth of the sun. What we didn't notice was that Ethan and Rebecca had grabbed their water guns and were preparing to strike. We didn't notice them until a cool jet of water was sprayed onto me and Brittany. I screamed in surprise and they both laughed as they threw us 2 water guns. "Ha! Ha! You screamed like a girl!" Brittany said. "Did not!" I retorted as I picked up the nearest water gun and squirted Brittany. "Don't spray me!" Brittany said. "Let's go after your cousins!" We giggled as we engaged in a friendly water fight. The cold water felt refreshing against the warm sun, and for a while, all our worries and concerns were washed away. It was a moment of pure joy and laughter, a moment that reminded me of what family was all about. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, Aunt Georgia called us over to the fire pit, where the evening bonfire would soon be lit. I dried off with my towel and sat down in one of the outdoor chairs. The crackling flames cast a warm glow over our faces as we roasted marshmallows and made s'mores. The sweet, gooey treats were the perfect ending to a day filled with fun and adventure. I couldn't help but smile as I looked around at my family, feeling grateful for the love and support they provided, even in the face of challenges. The events of the day had been a roller coaster of emotions, from the tension with Rhea to the excitement of the pool and barbecue. But in the end, I realized that family was there to make even the toughest times a little easier and the best moments even more special. As the fire crackled and the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, I knew that, despite the difficulties and uncertainties, I was surrounded by the people who loved and accepted me for who I was. And that was the greatest comfort of all on this Easter weekend. When it was time for us to go to bed, Brittany and I walked up to our room. I grabbed the pink nightgown. I went to the bathroom and slipped into the nightgown. When I returned, I saw Brittany already in her pajamas. She had a small table on the bed. I looked at it curiously. Brittany, seeing that I was back, just responded. "Since we know what the color of your dress is, we can get your nails painted that color," Brittany said, pulling out a bottle of purple nail polish. I stared at the bottle of purple nail polish, feeling a mix of apprehension. The pink fingernail polish that Gracie put on my nails the other day was starting to wear off, and I wasn't sure if I wanted more polish on them. Brittany gestured for me to sit down, and I hesitated for a moment before taking a seat on the bed, putting my legs under the table. She grabbed her nail polish remover and started to remove the pink polish from each of my nails. I must admit, I forgot Gracie had painted my nails when I went over there to borrow her clothes for the trip. To be honest, it feels like that happened weeks ago and not just a few days ago. The polish that Brittany put on my nails was different than what Gracie put on my nails the other day. That polish was more of a solid color to where this new polish was glittery. I kept moving my fingers watching as the glitter sparkled on the nail. When she finished, I examined my newly painted nails, a shade of purple that matched the dress that I am to wear tomorrow. "Thanks, Brittany," I said, genuinely grateful for her gesture. She smiled warmly, and in that moment, the weight of the day seemed a little lighter. Brittany climbed into the bed, and I tucked myself under the covers, feeling a mix of emotions. The day had been full of unexpected twists and challenges, but it had also brought moments of joy and love. As I lay there, I couldn't help but think about Ria's threat and the weight it carried. But for now, I was determined to enjoy the moments I had with my family, to savor the warmth of their love and support, and to find strength in the bonds we shared. With those thoughts in mind, I closed my eyes and drifted off to sleep, hoping that tomorrow would bring more moments of happiness and togetherness, even in the face of the uncertainties that lay ahead.